I think Howard, not to the ass.
I wish I would have known that before.
It'll be the Chyna Dilly show. Who can be the silliest on the dilliest?
Started watching TV, wrestling on TV, and being one to never take no for an answer, as I continued to do auditions, I would drive to the middle of New York. I lived in upstate New York, 5 hours sometimes, there and back for, a 2-second audition where I knew that I wasn't right for the part. So sometimes I'd even go out for the small black woman. But I knew that by doing that, it was constantly working and getting people to see me and notice me, because I knew I was very different. Even at that time, was mostly in a very negative light outside of people who I felt were very elite in the athletic world, and very special people who were my companions. And I somehow sent videos and went to shows and got a big break due to a friendship that I had started after getting to know a lot of the guys. And Shawn Michaels and Triple H at that time was looking for a bodyguard. And I went to have a meeting with personnel from WWF, and they didn't show up. And I ended up driving back to the hotel where I knew everybody was, because I had driven so far that I wasn't going to stand for anybody standing me up. And so I went to go find this person who was supposed to interview me, and I ended up running into Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And I knew Triple H because he was from my hometown and had also been trained by Walter Kowalski. And so we met, and their wheels were spinning. It was definitely all business, which is important to demonstrate too that we clicked right away and started talking about how they could integrate me in something new that they thought, something different that they saw in me. And the next day I was I think the company was basically blackmailed into having me appear on one of their shows. So the guys kind of said, well, if you hire her, we'll do what you want us to do, type of deal, without being specific. And I ended up going on a 17-day tour to Germany 2 days later. And it was kind of wild, going back to the music. I look at Jimi Hendrix, and I look at the crowds out there, and here's this guy that was wailing on the guitar and doing something so different. And you look out in the crowds, and everybody just kind of looked, and you realize when you're in that position, you think, is something wrong with me, or, am I doing bad? Because you don't know anything about the business that you're venturing into. And there were many speechless crowds for a long time, of hundreds of people that was growing at that time. And then I became one of the meanest heels and most powerful women in sports. And let's see, 2002, however many years later, I'm no Archimedes, but then I ended up wrestling with New Japan Professional Wrestling, I should say grappling, moving on physically after I'd done lots of television, Playboy, books, talk shows, worldwide events with anywhere from 20 to 72,000 people worldwide. Amazing experience to go to Japan and grow physically and realize what an athlete I had become, along with an actress, live event, a theater actor, which are all things that encompass in the wrestling world, which is why I'm a very lucky lady to be, I believe, one of a kind. It'll never happen again. I don't think people will ever see it in my lifetime. Being at the right place at the right time, and a world of work and camaraderie to get where I am today. pretty amazing. And I know that I was certainly an added plus to his life by being on the road and to a lot of the guys. And, we just really started overcoming, almost a hatred when I first started, and a real ambivalence, to having all of these big guys that watched out over me and, were my family. I could joke with them, girls have seen them in their underwear way too many times. You do not want to go there, believe me. To be a part of a very respected female in the industry. And as the business grew, as wrestling grew to a multi-billion-dollar business, it became what would sell the next pay-per-view. What was real and what was not real. And as I went through a growth of becoming a celebrity worldwide, the one thing I was always sure to do was to keep myself and who I was as a person, and I was never willing to go to the MTV Awards with, Eddie Guerrero, for example. That was, to me, that was outside of television shows that we did, outside of the venues. It was not storyline at that part, and I felt that you should represent the company as an athlete and as an actor, and that I thought it was really inappropriate to blend that reality with real life, because it's, in essence, to me, it's lying and it's unhealthy, and I just would never go there. And Paul, on the other hand, chose to have an affair with Vince's daughter. And
how did you bump into Triple H, and what happened exactly?
Triple H had come back to apparently, and I was not aware of this, to pick up X-Pac, Sean Waltman, who I have on and off again been at one time engaged 2 years ago for a month. They came to pick him up to go to a rehabilitation facility for his drug use. And I didn't expect to bump into them at all. Apparently they're paying for this out of their own pocket, which is very noble of them, considering that he can go back to work for them and abuse his body some more, and then possibly his drug habit, I don't know. But I've basically been around with Sean for the last 2 years, supported him, and it really pains me to see, this is a tough business. You're traveling around, your body's just crucified. How many guys I've had 9 surgeries. I don't know how many guys have had broken necks, broken backs. I mean, it's par for the course, but you don't take care of your people by ultimately, giving them a phone call and paying for their drug rehabilitation out of your pocket. To me, that is quite disgusting. And so that was the last time in almost 3 years that I've seen anybody from the company besides Sean. And it's just it was sad on one hand, because it was sad for me to see Sean in that predicament, because the thing that he loved the most in the world, wrestling, he's had his own issues and his own problems. And I believe, like they say, it all comes from the childhood. I believe it's all, if you're part of a team and a family, you're not treated that way. So I believe that we both wouldn't have been at that point. So I'm a lot more tolerant of his behavior, or things that I see that the average person wouldn't be. Tolerant of the company as well, as what they display and what they say to people. However, I've made that move to go in a different direction, and so I feel it's my obligation to say, what I see and how I feel. And hopefully, my colleagues will hear me and know, maybe hopefully go about their path in a different way, and get something really great out of the special people that they are and are going to be.
On the subject of drugs and pill popping, how significant and serious is this in the wrestling industry?
It's very serious. people don't understand. I mean, most people can go out to a bar every Friday night and get sloshed. However, when you are, it's like somebody with cancer. They take more medication, or they they have more medical needs. Well, you're out there beating your body up every single day with chronic problems, with, like I said, probably multiple broken necks, broken backs. These guys need medical attention if they need it. It hasn't been provided for them most often than not. They don't have insurance. If they get hurt, they can't stop working because they have families or, people that they have to provide for. They can't just jump out of that industry and go do a TV show. They're trapped. So it's very cruel. And you're always going to have people that will gain addictions, or, people will talk about them, take it to the extreme. Well, it's not the same as somebody that's throwing up out their car window on Sunset Boulevard. It's not the same. So they get looked at with apprehension and caution, even in their treatment. So then they either can't get anything, or they're overdoing it. And it's a good way to release people, or degrade them, or make them look immoral. And it's a very, very disturbing problem to me in this industry. It should be all good, and it should, doctors should know that it's okay to give sleeping pills so that people can sleep when they're traveling every day worldwide, or painkillers on a monitored basis. You can't go wrong like that. And so they need to step it up a notch in that industry, because I'm frankly quite tired of seeing, people that I love ended up finally, waiting to go see if they could get their surgery paid for a knee operation or a back operation or something. But what about the rest, If it's a team company and a team family, then, would you take care of your family like that? Probably not. Other people would probably even take an Excedrin and the headache would go away, What are these guys supposed to do? Yeah, I'm very vocal about that. It's a huge issue.
What's it like backstage in like a pro wrestling locker room? Like everybody wonders, what's it really like back there? Is it like really easy going, or was there a lot of jealousy back there? How was that?
Sure. There's I think jealousy anytime you put a lot of people together like that. And there's people at all different levels. So there's some humor as well. It's going to depend on where each person is at. And once you go through the locker room ranks, you can look back on that and kind of giggle now when I go back there and see. But for the most part, it looks like it's shaping up. Yeah. Backyard wrestling is still backyard wrestling, especially if you're talking about even their favorite professional wrestler or Japanese grappler. You're emulating something that is a sport, is physical, is very dangerous. And there's lots of schools. It's like if you want to learn a musical instrument, you go take lessons, or you have somebody show you. You're talking about something very physical. To me, there is no such thing as backyard wrestling. There's no such thing. You're wrestling in it's uncontrolled environment.
When you posed for Playboy, like, how did that change your career, and like, what was that like?
Are you looking at my eyes? Oh, we're moving to the Playboy questions now. Well, what was the question?
How did that affect your career and you personally?
Oh gosh, the first Playboy that I did was tremendous for me, to be able to show a feminine side, to show all of my feminine side. I had created a character, like I said. It's really hard to distinguish between the real life and what is TV or in the movies or in wrestling. And Sorry. It gave me, like, I wasn't allowed to be me even outside of the television screen, and that was hard, because I was a big girl, out of the norm anyway. Well, you make that your life. That's very difficult because I'm still a girl, and I still like all the girly things, and we still all want to feel beautiful, and Playboy, has only the most beautiful women in the world in it, top celebrities, I didn't even know if it was going to sell, one copy. I never knew it would be the top selling issue of Playboy, but it really, it's pretty intense, pretty cool. It also paid a lot of my bills, gave me a financial leg to stand on for the last 3 years since I've been in Los Angeles. And so it was an incredible thing to do, incredible opportunity. The second one as well, that Mr. Hefner was complete, who I just love. He's amazing, treated me great. It was a fun experience, the most girly, like you just, you reach the top when you do that. It was Playboy's a wonderful experience for me. Third show, practicing and stuff. But we're practicing a lot, putting in our dues, lots of nights spent up, songwriting, getting a style together. It's a big jump to all of a sudden learn how to play musical instruments and decide you're going to go into the music industry. You start from scratch. So I've been traveling to Las Vegas and back, and done a few shows at the world famous Roxy. Family up there, he played the Roxy on Sunset Boulevard, which was incredible. I had some awesome musicians behind me, Bruce Rochelle, Wayne Burkhead, unbelievable musicians. My brother, Toby Hero Wilson, and so it was kind of a discovery period. We practiced every day, hours on end, and got a little set together, done a few shows, and now Toby is working with me a lot more closely, so we can narrow it down. I can get a style together, start feeling more comfortable with just singing and playing, and then it all starts to come together, so we played our first acoustic song on the Howard Stern show last week, and I'm starting to feel really comfortable, getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. So I think we're now it's getting picked up, we're picking up the pace, and it's happening all of a sudden. So it's very exciting. Most people, to have done, traveled all over the world, wrestling, Japan, with New Japan, to have done Playboy, books, TV shows. It's seems like you would only touch one of those things in a lifetime. But now music is really close to my heart, and to be able to do that is very, very exciting, and a brand new growing experience for me. It's very surreal.
Let me ask you, how does the wrestling business differ from the music business?
Well, I think that there's a different... let's see, how would I explain this? In the fighting business, you start to learn through experience who the true fighters are, what their capabilities are physically, mentally. To me, there's nobody that can touch a professional fighter. They're the most amazing human being machines in the world to me. I feel that I've been touched by greatness to have worked with people who I've worked with and fought, and places I've been. There's nothing comparable in that sense. They're the ultimate human beings to me. Leave me speechless, you could never explain that to the average person. Music, to me, is the same but in a different format. It comes from sometimes a God-given ability to have music within you. Players who are so skilled, so amazing, and they're kept going just by their music. I mean, nothing can stop them. The true play on. And it's taught me a lot about, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin's, Stevie Nicks, so people who I really didn't know a whole lot about, now I think are incredible, you know. And so music really comes from inside, and you could be an accomplished musician, but you could also be the person playing on Venice Beach, and that's what makes them different too, is that you know a true musician when you see one or hear one, and that's displayed by their playing, and that's how they keep on and on for days, you know. You'll talk to a true musician, and that's what keeps them alive. You know, it heals the soul, it sends a message, humanly, politically, you know, musically, so many things. So quite two different things. It's a completely different ball game. So, I mean, I used to think that there weren't a whole lot of crossovers between television and musicians, for example, when that started maybe with Jennifer Lopez or like an Ice-T. You know, it wasn't normal for somebody to cross over and be successful and have it be good. You know, it's like a bow nose. I mean, it just wouldn't happen. And now you start seeing a lot more of that. You realize that whether it be in sports or a true actor or somebody with talent, they're very cross-versatile, you know, and it all comes out in what they love to do, actually.